Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Yay, it's Shabbat. It's been a week. It's been a long week. A whole, I feel like 7 days since last time we gathered. That is one whole week. Yeah, it was a long week. It was a long week. Hope that you can exhale the last week. Breathe in Shabbat. Breathe in some relaxation. Breathe in some time starting tonight through tomorrow. Family, friends, relaxation, challah, really good food, naps. Do you have a Shabbat nap?
I do have a shluff, yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
What, do you have a time-ish that you do it? Like, what's your Shabbat shluff time?
It's like 3.
Ooh, that's a late shluff.
Yeah.
It's a late shluff. Okay,
Yeah.
That's nice. Because you're here in the morning,
Yeah.
so you have to doing stuff here.
Yeah, and I have lunch like around 1.
You have lunch around 1.
Yeah.
I get it. And then, okay, it's nice. This is Cantor Mushlik, by the way, for those who don't know. And if you're on our live stream, hello. We are thrilled to have you as well. I'm Rabbi Keller. Rabbi Kahn is also there, but you'll see her soon. I promise. You'll see her soon. Also live and on our live stream. If you are on our live stream, by the way, you can follow along with all parts of our service. Going to our website, cbiboca.org, top left corner, hit menu, then hit services, then scroll down. You'll see a picture of him. Next to a picture of him, there'll be a button that says virtual prayer book, and then you can pray along with us. For as long as the CCAR press keeps that link available and for free, you can view it. They are eventually going to take it off and make us pay for it. But at the moment, it is free, and so we hope that you are watching us right now, and hope that you are also exhaling your week and moving into the beauty that is Shabbat. If it's your first time here also, you can reach under your seat to get the prayer book. If you don't have a prayer book yet, reach right under there. Make sure you get a prayer book. Make sure you check the cover. It says Shabbat on it. It doesn't say weekday and festival. We actually found one last Shabbat morning. We found a weekday and festival one. It was infesting the other one. So make sure you have the right one. Weekday and festival. Thank you very much. So we grab the one that's right next door. Okay, great. Okay.
You have to come on Sunday.
You have to come on Sunday and pray with us. Then you'll be a weekday or festival. Yeah. Thanks, Rita. So we are going to continue with the lighting of Shabbat candles to actually bring Shabbat into our midst. It is a pleasure to bring Harriet Ginsburg up here to light our Shabbat candles. Particularly nice because it's her birthday. So we are thrilled to celebrate your birthday with us on this very day. It is your birthday. So it's nice. It's a nice day. I'll never forget your birthday because it's my anniversary. So I know it. So I know it. I know it well.
But there's a difference. You will tell everybody how long you're married.
I will.
As far as I'm concerned, my age is an unlisted number.
Okay.
Not that I copied it. It's not really, but anyway.
Great.
It's my line.
My number is 21. So 21 years.
Oh, I used to be 21.
Yeah. You got it.
I don't know how to do it. Please join me, everybody.
Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav tzivanu l'ikner shel Shabbat. Thanks.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kinishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehalikner
candles are lit. Our time is officially sanctified into Shabbat now, and we have an opportunity to further sweeten our Shabbat, the entrance of Shabbat for us, not just with the words of Borei Pri Hagafen, connecting us, of course, to the fruit of the vine, but to the beautiful words that remind us of our connection, of our history and sanctification of God, in the words of the Kiddush, which can be found on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei piri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'vratzon hinchilanu, zikaron le'maaseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu vacharta, viltanu kidashta, mikol hamim Shabbat kodshecha, Be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
Chaim. There's nothing in there. There's just there's a little bit in there. Cantor Muchnick he only likes certain vintages of wine. We've had this discussion before, and he really likes only from 1980, and so it's not in 1980, and I think he's upset about it. We're going to continue with our presence of Shabbat and our connections to Kabbalat Shabbat, bringing in the presence of Shabbat, even further inviting our bride into our midst, our Kabbalat Shabbat bride, the Sabbath bride that gets to spend this time with us, these 25 hours, also helping to enrich our time and our connections to one another. The words, we found actually the longer versions you can follow along for the full Yedid Nefesh, as well. We're continuing, by the way, the words of Yedid Nefesh are on page, big jump, 332 in your book. If you go to 332, you'll be able to find the full. If you want the short version, it's on 10. But Cantor Mash is going to be chanting more than the short version. So if you want to follow along with all of the words, it's on page 332 in your Siddur. going to flip back now to the section of Kabbalat Shabbat, and we are going to continue with the words of Zamru, and that is on the top of page 16. Top of page 16. 1-6. Imagine sitting in Tzfat, in the Kabbalistic city of Tzfat, the northern part of Israel, and being so inspired and being so connected to Shabbat, being so mesmerized, being so entranced in what the Psalms say, being so uplifted and connected to connecting with Shabbat, to appreciating Shabbat, to seeking what the true definition of rest really means. And so this man, Shlomo Halevi, did that. He sat there in the 16th century. He sat there in Tzfat. He was amidst the Kabbalists who found those connections for us, found those connections to the Psalms, all 150 of them, finding perfect ones that fit into Shabbat so they could each uplift us properly, each uplift us at a certain moment. And so amidst all of the Psalms, he was gifted a spot to place his own words, his own vision, his own mark, if you will, the words of Lecha Dodi on page 20 and 21. We'll be doing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. When we get to verse number 9, we'll stand and face the door to welcome in the Shabbat bride. Once again, 20 and 21.
Shabbat nekabela, ito אותי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עצרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצולתוכם ולעם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך אדוני, לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך אדוני, לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please be seated. We continue now with Chatzi Kaddish, page 26.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בלמד יברח ירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם לא מהמיה יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה, מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעולמה, ואמרו
Amen. We continue now with our call to worship with the Baruch Hu on page 28, where we ask ourselves, am I awake? Are we prepared to move forward with our service? More prepared to connect with God and with our community? With the words, once again, of our call to worship, Baruch Hu, page 28.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? And a lie, 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 and a lie, lie, lie. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam moed, le'olam moed. La 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 la, 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 la 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 la.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בדברו מעריב ערבים, בחוכמה פותח שערים, ובתבונה משנה עתים ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה. מבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. לחי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב. הערבים. We continue on the bottom of page 33. Let's alternate paragraphs. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated. Continue 36.
And you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day, you shall take to heart, to heart. Teach them diligently to your children, and recite them at home and away, night and day. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and a reminder above your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your homes and of your gates. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha nafshecha umeodecha. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your
Beautiful, sort of loving fitting for the Shabbat today. A very particular Shabbat about love, so which you'll hear a little more about in a few minutes. But there's a beautiful connection to our love connection with Ahava, with V'ahavta, and our love and connection with God. With that, we also connect, of course, to the presence of God that presents us with God's awesomeness and God's wonder, and our ability to hopefully seek the redemption we all seek, like God provided for us the redemption as we crossed the sea when we left Egypt and move into our freedom. We think of the words of Mi Chamocha on page 40.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedan ba'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedan ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot, ol מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים מפני משה ומרים, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נטר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נטר בקודש. נורא עושה, נורא עושה, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
So when Dan is here, are you going to do the thing for him? You're going to do the when Dan Nichols is here, are you going to do it?
I have to ask for permission because it's not written in the music.
Oh, all right, okay. Because Dan Nichols is going to be here in February. So I know what. So Dan Nichols himself, who wrote that and many other pieces for us, will be here in February. We're excited. That is a yeah. So yeah. He's going to be here. He's signed and sealed and delivered. He's coming. He's going to be here. He's going to be here Friday. He's going to be here Friday night for services for us. He's going to be here Saturday evening for our youth. Actually, he has a special time with our kids Saturday night, and then on Sunday, along with our connection with the Dubov family, the Dubov concert will be here at Congregation B'nai Israel, and there will be a full concert with Dan Nichols and his band,
And everything. Yeah.
Band 18, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and they're all gonna be here and do a full concert for us in our sanctuary. So that whole weekend. So
Super excited.
it's very, very exciting. So we have to decide if we're gonna do the little, if you're gonna do the.
If he gives me the all clear, I'll do it.
All right. I was just at another service in where was I? In Kansas City, and he was there. He did a concert. I went to honor a friend of mine. I helped to install a friend of mine to become a rabbi, and he was there. And he actually talked about how it's so great for him to go across the country and hear how people sort of change up his music, and how honored he feels that people like make it their own. He says, like, he goes to this camp, they do it this way. He goes to this synagogue, they do it this way. He goes to, so maybe Congregation Ben Israel is going to be the, whatever you just did. It's better than me.
Glissando.
Yeah. What is it? What's it called?
Glissando.
Glissando. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts. May lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Ushmor tzitzeinu, uvoeinu, lechaim ushalom, me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim.
As we approach the core of our worship service, we prepare to reflect on themes that have been part of Jewish communal prayer and on the hearts and minds of Jewish people for over 3,000 years. Though the wording was fluid at the beginning and again in modernity has been adapted slightly, the themes of these blessings were set long ago. On Shabbat, every Shabbat, we connect not only to our ancestors and the generations of Jews who have come before us, but also to themes of God's power and holiness, of Shabbat joy, of service, gratitude, and peace. We begin this ancient yet ever relevant worship now on page 46, and I invite all who are able to please rise.
Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Gula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh ha'kol atarav lehoshia, Morid ha'atal, Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechayeh ha'kol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar micha mocha ba'al gevurot umido melach melech memit umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua v'neman atale hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen. We continue on our own through page 62, praying silently and having a seat when we are finished.
tasim le'olam. Shalom Rama Yisrael Amcha, tasim le'olam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rama Yisrael Amcha, tasim le'olam. Shalom Rama Yisrael Amcha, tasim le'olam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rama Yisrael Amcha, tasim le'olam. Shalom Rama Yisrael Amcha, tasim le'olam. Tasim le'olam. Tasim
Thank you. Amen. What a beautiful service this evening. It's been so lovely, and it's so great to be here with all of you. I have a confession I wanted to share. Not a confession, just kind of a little bit about me as you get to know me. I'm not really a love at first sight kind of girl. The stories where people meet and immediately fall in love never really moved my heart. I prefer the slow, burning love stories where only after time and generally some misadventure, people eventually get together. Give me Beatrice and Benedict, for whom there was much ado about nothing. Peter and Ellie, for whom it happened one night. Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy, with their pride and prejudice. Yes, romantic plays, novels, and movies that tell stories of the relationships that grow and finally reveal themselves to be love. These are my favorites. I like them because we get to know the characters more deeply, and we're exposed to some of their faults and their flaws, and in the end, the love isn't there because it was perfect and easy. Rather, love blossoms through truly getting to know, appreciate, accept, and eventually long for one another. It's not as quick and easy as those stories where you meet your Prince Charming and happily ever after begins. But like Shakespeare said, gave myself a tongue twister, the course of true love never did run smooth. True love is more than an immediate spark. It takes work, understanding, and gratitude. And why am I telling you all of this? I'm telling you because we learn this in a multitude of ways this Shabbat. Mostly, though, we learn this from reading one of the greatest love stories ever told, the one I want to discuss tonight. This story of a complicated relationship that blossoms into love is found in our Torah. In some ways, every week, as we read a section of the Torah, we unfold dramatic exchanges that turn out to be this epic tale. It's the love story between God and the people of Israel. We are bound together early on, but we twist and turn through generations. We have ups and downs, times of great gestures for one another, and other times of what feels like aloofness or abandonment. We stay together even though at times we enrage the other, even through moments of uncertainty, because obligation is deeper than romantic love or lust. So we stick it out when things get tough. Then finally, towards the end of our epic story, while remembering all we've been through together, the word love is suddenly brought in, and we realize our relationship was monumental and true. That moment, that realization, that openness of finally telling the other that what we need is their love occurs in this week's parashah. Today, the expression ve'ahavta is very familiar to most practicing Jews. We know from our liturgy that we are commanded to love God. We say it so often and so simply that it seems like this love was a given. But the truth is, the expression ve'ahavta only shows up in the Torah 3 times. Whole Torah, 3 times. We're told to love our neighbor, to love the stranger, and then finally, to love God. Rabbi Yaakov Yosef, student of the Baal Shem Tov, says, the essence and purpose of the Torah, the mitzvot, and the work of prayer is all to prepare to come into this fullness of the ve'ahavta. And our sages teach that the reason this mitzvah, to love God, appears for the first time only now at the end, towards the end of the Torah, is that it's the culmination of Torah. All of it leads to loving God. But what does that really mean? What is love? Biblically, love is about connection and obligation, more so than emotion. Love in this sense brings with it the work of providing and giving what is needed. This is the same when we're told to love the stranger and the widow. We are really being told of our obligations of support rather than that of emotions. Love, though it may happen spontaneously, is more meaningful when we work to sustain it with the kind of support and with the continuous thought and effort. This is why we're taught each person's nature includes the ability to love God. To transform that love from potential to actual requires purposeful and ongoing effort. Just as it is with God, so too is it with our fellow humans. This is why we are taught not simply that we should love, but that we should strive to love with all our heart, with all our might, with all our soul. These verses and these commandments come directly from this week's Torah portion. And the Talmud explains the all our might piece by parsing this verse into a lesson that to love completely is to be thankful for every measure, every moment, every gift. Our tradition teaches us the great importance of offering thanks. We are taught to wake and immediately offer our gratitude to God. Each day is supposed to begin by declaring, Moda ani lefanecha, thankful am I before you. And our gratitude and expressions of love don't stop there. We continue with offering blessings for numerous acts considered daily miracles. We thank God for the ability to stand and move, to have strength and be free. And we do this because we must remind ourselves to show love through gratitude. Because the days are long and hard, and if we don't show gratitude, we might get frustrated and turn away from our obligations, from our love. So we thank and love God, meodecha, with and for every measure, even the hard ones. Jews have learned that even in hard times, we must do more than kvetch or complain. We need to take an accounting of our lives that helps us express gratitude for all our gifts, large and small, and this is true love. But the truth is, kvetching and complaining are also part of love, right? That's because sometimes life is hard, which is why our tradition teaches us that love is also about offering comfort. We learn this from the fact that Shabbat this week is called Shabbat Nachamu, and it's the first of 7 weeks of consolation. As we move in our calendar from one of our saddest and hardest days, Tisha B'Av, which was last week, towards the joy of our new year, which is coming soon, we are comforted and cared for by our tradition. The text which offers the Shabbat its name is interesting, though, when it comes to learning about love. Shabbat Nachamu's reading comes from Isaiah, and in it the prophet tries to console and comfort the people. But they respond by saying, that's not what they want. Not the prophet's comfort. Rather, they long to be comforted directly by God. Modern commentary, though, teaches us that God was offering comfort through a messenger out of love. Because by commanding a person to comfort other people, God imbues each of us with the ability and power to comfort another. So in God's love, God not only offers love from consolation, but from allowing us to comfort and console another. The trick to being there for others, though, is understanding them. And that is another lesson we learn about love this Shabbat. A lot of lessons about love, right? We also learn that love is understanding. Our sages taught that a person traditionally receives complete understanding and forgiveness from God at 3 times. Those times are on Yom Kippur, on your wedding day, and on Tu B'Av. Now, Tu B'Av is not a very well-known holiday, but it's a beautiful one, and it happens to be one we celebrated today. You all celebrated, right? Yeah, of course. Known simply as the Jewish Valentine's Day, in ancient times it was a day of great joy. The Talmud says one of the most joyous all year. So if this day is a moment when God completely understands, accepts, and forgives us, so too does this holiday teach us this Shabbat that true love is about understanding and acceptance. All of this together, the words of our Torah portion, which we know so well, the theme of this special Shabbat Nachamu, and the celebration of the holiday of Tu B'Av, together they teach us the true meaning and measure of love. And this Shabbat, we give in to our love story with God and humanity. And from it, we learn about all kinds of loving relationships, because we get to participate in this incredible love story, one of the best kinds of love stories. And from it, we learn that love is not always easy. Love has ups and downs, and love takes effort. Love takes work. Love takes allowing time to get to know the other. But our epic love story with God ultimately teaches us that in all our relationships, in order to know true love, we must let love comfort us, renew us, and obligate us. For as the poet teaches, love is the whole thing. We are only the pieces. Shabbat Shalom.
I love that. See what I did there? That was fabulous. Shkoach. Do you want her to come up and do it again? We can. Sure. Sure. We are going to take our beautiful words of love connected at the before silent prayer into the connection of peace. We're going to take our pieces of love. We're going to take our connections of peace, and we're going to transfer all of those emotions and thoughts to those in our community who are in need of healing, a physical, emotional, or spiritual healing. We think of Chava, Leah, but Esther, Gary Bandel, Daniel Bernstein, Gloria Bernstein, Lillian Bichelle, Sloan Caston, Brian Church, Karen Coles, Chuck Curry, Cheryl Cutler, Casey Daskell, Mark Davis, John Day, Jaden Deal, Judith Dratler, Martin Edelman, Dr. Jesse Gotchman, Ira Kafka, Shmuel Ben Chaika Rivka, Shoshana Malka bat Sima Golda, Naomi Kirstein, Howard Rosenbluth, Richard Rosenbluth, Joan Seidman, Craig Marks, David Field, Shirley Kafka, Badita Kaplan, Gary Kane, Bonnie Kleinman, Michelle Kingen, Esther Rhoda Kaufman, Gloria Land, Rochelle Liebman, Michael Medoff, Lydia Nahum, Barbara Newmark, Linda Greenblatt Newworth, Gloria Plotsky, Elliot Porowich, Mark Rosenberg, Lillian Rosenblatt, Menachem Yeshua Ben Sarah, Diane Spiro, Gaia Bat Yehuda Vemisha, Aria Benjamin Kenny, Debbie Goldsmith, Ralph Gary, Carol Porowich, Itza Chana, Bella Batarifka, Matthew Duque. To those names, we had any name that you would like to add at this time. Mishabach can be found on page 253. 253. Some announcements for us on this Erev Shabbat. We are currently amidst our back-to-school supply drive. So please, if you have a moment, if you are in Walmart, or you're in Target, or you're in Publix, or you're going to pass by any school supplies, anything, pencils, pens, erasers, we are amidst our school drive. It's through the end of August, August 31st. If you want to just have it magically appear here if you want, we have a Smile account, a special Amazon Smile account, a CBI one. So if you want information about it, it's actually on this flyer. All you have to do is follow this flyer, type in whatever the flyer says, and it'll automatically, whatever you purchase in your cart and hit enter, it'll just magically appear at the synagogue. You don't even have to drive it here if you don't want to. So please help us with our back-to-school supply drive. All the supplies, by the way, are donated to the Boys and Girls Club, to Boca Elementary School, to JAFCO, Children's Village, and to the American Association of Caregiving Youth. So all of those go right to them. What's that? It's on the back. Everything's in the back. So everything I'm going to say to you, thank you, good question. Everything I'm going to say to you is we have a a table with everything in the back, all the flyers to grab everything, and it's super easy to follow that. That's one. Coming up is our Welcome Back to Shul weekend. It's going to begin Friday night on the 26th at 6:30. We are officially transitioning Friday night services from the chapel into the sanctuary. And so services 6:30. We look forward to seeing you there. Please come. We're going to be actually introducing every single person who works at Congregation B'nai Israel. So you'll have a chance to meet everyone who works here so that we can really get a sense of how we make this truly a holy community. And so we're going to be doing that. Of course, Shabbat morning services will be awesome and fabulous as usual on that weekend. And then Sunday, which is the 28th, will be our Welcome Back Bash with all kinds of food trucks and water play and water slides and bingo and the other stuff. Cantor Muchnick will be leading the water slide section of that afternoon.
I have a bridge to sell you too.
Yes, so he will be there. We're looking forward to it. You're great on the slide last time was like, whew, it's fast. So that's, you can also, by the way, if you are going to stock up on the supplies and don't want to do the thing on Amazon, bring it that day. That's a perfect day to bring it. Also, we'll have bins everywhere to drop that off. So, and it says, please bring bathing suits and towels for kids. It says for kids. All right. We have our Barry Glick Brotherhood kickoff is coming up. That is on September 29th. It is at Duffy's, the one on St. Andrews. It's a perfect time for us to be doing that, for the clergy to do that, because September 29th will be right after Rosh Hashanah ends and just before Yom Kippur. So it's good time to get a beer, actually, probably right in that window. So join us for the Brotherhood kickoff. This does not mean the Brotherhood only functions on alcohol, but the next event is a Bourbon and Burros event, which is a Brotherhood event, and it is about bourbon, and it's during Sukkot. So you can come and join us on Sukkot. That's October 12th at 7 p.m. in the Sukkah. And sometimes, it doesn't say on the flyer, but I wonder, J&F usually is a co-sponsor, so I'm going to double check on that. But I think J&F is also a co-sponsor, so a co-sponsor of that. Last but not least is we have a congregational Israel trip. If you don't know yet, it is June 11th through the 22nd, and it's coming up. We already have people registered for it. It's going to be really, really great. And I'm going to probably start in the next few weeks doing all the announcements in my Israeli voice to get you ready for the trip. So I'm going to be talking like this for the whole service. I'm going to be talking like this. It's going to be great. It's going to be how you say it? Fabulous? How you say it? You say it.
Fabulous.
Great, thank you. Great. You say it very nicely.
You're on fire.
I don't know if that's the word. We are going to begin to conclude our service now. And I think Cantor Muchnick is very thankful for that, since I'm going to stop talking. We're going to transition now into Aleinu, which we can find on page 282, and together we stand.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We transition now to Kaddish Yatom, to Mourner's Kaddish. We think of those in the period of Shloshim, the immediate 30-day mourning period. Robert Rosen, Erwin Diamond, Florine Sprung. And our yortzes that occur for us this week: George Cohen, Stephen Dubov, Al Elias, Laura Foster, Ruben Gechter, Ivan Gentile, Michael Gordon, Susan Hyman, Ann M. Klein, Eugene Kligman, Russ Radke, Saul Reich, David Rich, Ronald Rich, Bernard Julius Rubinoff, Sivia Schwam, Rosen Cohen Steinberg, Sheila Stone, Fanny Tashoff, Melissa Yasmin. To those names, we had any name that you would like to add? Yes. Kadisha Tom Wonders Kaddish 294. Yitkadal v'yikadas shmei rabbah, ve'almad yivrach cheruteh ve'amlich malchuteh, v'chaye echon v'yom echon v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam ulmei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'a v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei lekudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlomo rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, as together we say, amen. Please be seated. We are going to conclude our service with Shalom Alechem, which can be found, I think, on page 25, 24, 25, somewhere in there. Hold on. 24.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharetz, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei
Adonai varech et amo v'shalom. May God give strength unto our people. Continue to bless us with hope and strength and love, especially on this Tu B'Av. Make sure you tell the people in your life that you love them, and lots of peace. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom.